The following program is a production of the Southern University Mass Communication Department. Sophisticated, thought-provoking, entertaining. Look who's talking in the city. Look who's talking in the city. Look who's talking in the city.
Coming from the campus of the Southern University in Baton Rouge. Hi, I'm Rae'Ven Jones, and you're tuned in to Look Who's Talking in the City. Hello, Baton Rouge, and welcome to another edition of Look Who's Talking in the City. There's so many other things that you can be doing right now, but instead you chose to watch my show, and for that, I say thank you. Today, we're going to be discussing one of the hottest topics in the world of dating, and that's interracial dating. Statistics show that 73% of men incarcerated in Louisiana are black, and that 80% of the murders committed in the last 5 years were black males killing other black males. With so many black men currently in jail and being killed, what option does it leave for black women when it comes to choosing a mate? My guest today is a Southern University student who's seriously considering dating outside of her race due to the lack of black men on campus. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Imani Williams. So Imani, can we start off by telling the viewers a little bit about you and where you're from and a little bit about your hometown?
Okay, well, I'm from West Palm Beach, Florida. That's South Florida, about an hour north of Miami. So it's so many different cultures there, like people from the islands, people from South America, Mexico, all of that. So I always grew up around like a diverse population. It wasn't just strictly black people in one area, strictly white people in one area. Actually, I take that back. There are black neighborhoods, white neighborhoods, but as far as school-wise, every school was mixed. There wasn't just one school that was, oh, that's definitely just a white school, that's definitely a black school. So I got to kind of experience a lot of different cultures, so it's kind of cool. I like to dance, like to sing, like to swim from Florida, so.
So with you originally being from Florida, how was that such a big transformation moving here to Louisiana and being here in Baton Rouge?
I can definitely say, in a way, people have more manners. Like I notice here, a lot of people say yes ma'am, no ma'am. We weren't raised like that in Florida. It wasn't something we had to do in school. People are more friendlier. I see that too. Like in Florida, people speak, but it isn't really a requirement. When you come into a room, you're supposed to speak to everyone. It's not really anything we have to do. As far as culture, it's definitely, I can say in the black community, it's more diverse, with the Creole and everything. Like in Florida, it's different in the black community when someone's mixed or of a different complexion as others. People see it as different. But here I see that it's more normal because there's so many cultures and everything, so I think it's different that way.
So what made you choose to attend Southern University versus staying at home close to your family or with your friends? Why did you move to a whole other state to be able to start your career and start on working on yourself?
Okay, well, first off, I wanted to attend an HBCU no matter where I went. That was the first thing on my checklist. As far as choosing here, I didn't want to stay in Florida. If I went to FAMU, it would have been everybody from back home or people I knew through other people. So I just wanted a new start in a new environment. And as far as choosing Southern, my mom attended here, so I kind of grew up around Southern and kind of experienced the culture and the experience. So that was a big push in my decision in coming here.
So can you say that along your journey, through your journey, do you feel like you've made the right decision for you? Do you feel like you made the best decision?
I think I have, because I got to experience totally different things. Because like I said, it's totally different. Even food-wise, it's so much good food here. So I can definitely appreciate that because I love to eat. But it's just, I appreciate it because I think that if I would have stayed in Florida, I would have been more secluded and I wouldn't have come out of my shell as much. And I would have just been around the same people I grew up with.
All right. So what is your major? What is it that you decided to do with your life?
I decided to major in mass communications. My concentration is in print journalism.
And so what do you plan on doing with that after you graduate?
Well, I plan on using the skills that I got with journalism, with research and writing, and using that and taking it to law school. But as of now, I'm kind of experimenting with everything in my field right now. I wish I could have experienced it a little earlier, but this is my senior year, but I'm still getting to feel out everything. So if I do decide to continue and get a master's dealing with mass communications, then I'll definitely do that as well.
So would you, if you had the opportunity to go home and work at home, would you work at home or would you stay down here or even travel to a different state?
I think I would go home. I kind of miss it. Not necessarily my city where I'm from, but just the environment, the weather and everything. Just, I don't know, I'm kind of missing it a little bit.
It's been more stable down there.
Yeah, it's been 4 years. And just the money too, like the economy is a little better there. So I know whatever job versus if I got a job here, I would get paid more as well. So that's why I would choose to go back home.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit of dating. So you say that, or what do you say, or what are your reasons for a lack of black men that we have here in the world, or even here on campus or in Baton Rouge?
I think it's not like per se lack of, I think it's just lack of substance with black males here. And as far as dating for black women here, there are a lot, unfortunately, it's just so much, I don't know how to really say it. It's a lot of down low activity that goes on because, I mean, unfortunately in the black community, gays are like frowned upon. So it's kind of, a lot of black men end up, you know, kind of keeping their life secret. But I mean, a lot of people, if you go through experience, can tell like whether or not a black male is, you know, kind of on the fence. Also, I think with the amount of men that go to jail or in gangs, like who in college really wants to deal with that? Like we come to college to get away from that. So it's just like, I think that's another reason why it's hard to find a black male in a university. Also, a lot of black men now don't even really care for black women. I don't know why, but they don't.
So, I mean, with you attending the HBCU, that's like all we have around us. It's all that we're surrounded by. There's not too much of people of another race that are surrounded by us. So, is it hard for you? Do you feel like that there's a lot of pressure on you, or do you feel like it's okay, it's acceptable, and you just if you decide to date someone, you just go find them like at another school or in another location if you just run into someone, or are you just kind of dealing with everything and then just kind of soaking it in and just going along with the flow and whatever happens, happens?
I think I'm just going along with the flow. I understand that I'm still young, so I'm not like in a rush to date. But as far as considering dating someone here, it's been kind of hard, just mindsets of individuals that go here. But I would consider dating someone from a different school. That wouldn't be a problem. Even here, like at school with other people from different races, like for example, the baseball players, they have a lot of people that come from like Cuba or Puerto Rico. So it's like, you kind of get to experience a little diversity here. So like whatever comes my way comes my way. I'm not gonna just say, oh no, no black males, no go away. But if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'll try another race or someone from a different school. It doesn't really matter.
So do you feel like black guys don't appreciate women and value us as a person in our opinions and our aspects? So you don't think they look at it, they just don't care and they just do whatever?
I think with our generation, I think the black male is just so used to they struggle with trying to be in control and sure of themselves. So when they see a black female who has her head on straight, has like standards that she wants, has a mind of her own, or it could be possibly outspoken, they kind of get scared of that. They call it the angry black woman syndrome or whatever. I don't understand, because I think every woman of a different race gets angry, but whatever. So I think that's kind of what shies them away. Also, what I hear from like guys my age, that they want someone of a different race because they want their child to be mixed and have curly hair, light skin.
Oh, so you feel like they're doing it based off of, they feel like guys feel like they should date outside their race just because of who they want to marry, or the outcome of
the outcome. I think they think it's better. I don't know how, because it just confuses me, because I just see it as, okay, your mother is clearly an African American woman, so do you see her as lower? How you see African American women your age? But I don't know. I just think that, I forgot what we were talking about.
Do you feel like that it is because of the way some women present themselves that guys feel like that they shouldn't confining them and feel like that may not be the one or the person for them?
Okay. Honestly, I think every female of a different race has shown themselves
Right.
like in a disrespectful way.
Right.
So I don't think it's just black women who might show themselves. We have this stereotype of being the vixen, the video vixen, or we
Right.
only are successful when we're sleeping with somebody.
Right.
But that's in any race.
Right.
If anything, a female outside of the black race that might date a professional football player, basketball player, they're kind of throwing themselves to get to status. So I think it goes both ways, and it just depends on how you see the situation.
Back to what you were saying, some guys feel like intimidated by a black woman, and for us to be so strong-minded and so strong-willed, and for us to always stand up for it. We stand up for what we want, we say what we want, what we need, and we're not necessarily dependent on them. And it's like, I'm confused on that too, though, because I don't know if they want us to depend on them and just wait for them to do certain things and do stuff for us, when most times they don't even want to step up and do what it is that they have to do. So it's like, do they just want they feel like it's easier or an easier way out by going to someone else at another race or something?
I think so, because it's stereotyped that women that aren't black are more submissive. Men want submissive women. I feel like you can be submissive but still have your own mind, but they feel like they won't get as much backlash if they say dated a white girl. But
on that though, would they rather someone that's just laying around the house and not doing anything, going out spending all the money and not trying to take care of themselves, not trying to take care of the household, or if they have kids, if they're married, they have kids, they're not trying to take care of the kids or do whatever it is that they're supposed to do? Would they rather someone just to be lacking, or whether they want someone to actually stand up and actually do something with themselves and become somebody? See, on that,
I think they want a strong woman at the end of the day, but they don't have the maturity to handle it. That's how I see it. Like, no one wants to deal with somebody that's lazy.
Right.
But I think black males today, they get so caught up in the image of everything, like how this woman looks, how we're gonna look together, how our baby's gonna look. They forget about the actual qualities of a great girlfriend or wife.
Right. So why would you decide to choose to date someone else other than a African American guy?
I like new experiences. I mean, and like you said, like today in society, a lot of black males they openly say they don't like black women. So I feel like we should be willing to openly date anybody outside our race. It shouldn't matter.
Right, which that is true. I definitely agree. Everybody's entitled to their opinion and the way they feel, and you should be able to live your life comfortably without someone else's opinion influencing you to do something. You shouldn't really be up under peer pressure to do something or feel like who you're dating or something like that. So with that though, I know a lot of people, whenever they date outside their race, and it comes to like when they're out in the public and the public eyes on them, people are looking at, people are watching them. If it was a comment made, or like a racial comment made, which is always a racial comment going to be made, people are always going to be staring and people are always going to have something to say. How would you feel like that situation should be handled?
Well, I would of course be upset, but I would have to just sit and be rational about the situation and let my conscience talk to me and just say, like, handle it in a mature way. I mean, if they don't like it, who cares? Like, they're not making the relationship grow. They're not with me. They're not with him. So it shouldn't matter. So I'll just strongly try to ignore any like negative comments or stares, because people are going to talk regardless. Even if I was dating a black male, people would have negative comments. So
which is true. So like, how would you overcome that situation? How would you overcome that and not let it bother you so much? Because every now and then comments and things that are made towards us of anyone, you kind of let that get to you, and you tend to, some people might slump down into like a deep depression or whatever because they don't know how to control it, or they don't know what to say about it, how to feel about it. So what is something that you would say that you can do to overcome that situation?
I think I would just let love take over the situation, because like love has no color. And I would just let that motivate me, because they say love is a beautiful thing. Right. So, I mean, I would just let the negative stuff go out. Like, I don't really think there could be anything I could say, because you can't convince anybody to agree with what you want to do.
Right.
So I would just try to stay positive and show people. Maybe I can even motivate someone like, oh, okay, she's happy in this relationship. Maybe I should break out of my shell and try someone with a different race. Like, I would just want to be a positive kind of role model in the situation.
So do you feel like it shouldn't be as much pressure on us while we're in college? It should be freely and open-minded because we're still trying to find ourselves and we're still trying to figure out who it is that we want and what we want to be in our life, as well as being up under so much pressure with school and your parents and family and stuff like that. So do you feel like people should kind of like ease up a little bit on stuff like that and kind of let us live our lives a little bit? I think
so, because even like I said, we're young, we're college students. Like this is where we're gonna experience everything, figure out what we like, figure out what we don't like. So I mean, hey, I might have a boyfriend who's from Japan. Okay, so what? It might just be an experience. I'm learning something. You might be teaching me something, teaching me something that I could probably teach someone else, So it's like, I think people should not be as judgmental when it comes to younger relationships. Now, maybe 30s, when things are supposed to get serious, I can understand that, but someone young, it might not even last, so why even care?
Yeah, right. So on that though, our parents are always really, really hard on us, and they know what's right all the time. Yeah. So if it comes to you or anyone that you know or have known that was dating someone outside of your race and you brought them home to your parents to meet your parents or something like that, what do you think your parents would say? Or if you experienced it yourself with other friends or someone else, what were their comments and remarks towards that?
My mom, like, I know she would not care. Like, she would be happy. Like, she would be happy. She's very diverse in her mindset as well. And my father, as far as him, he couldn't say anything because in his time, he dated many women outside of his race. So I don't think he might have a problem with it because it's just like a double standard with that. But he like supports me in all my decisions that I make, whether I'm right or wrong. So it wouldn't be any like backlash with that. Now, as far as like, I'll probably have some jokes from like my aunts or uncles, but I don't think it would be anything negative. Where I think the negativity comes from is like outsiders or people that just don't understand. Like even my grandmother, she's gonna be 90. She's like, she would be very understanding of it now. Maybe not in her time. But now she's very understanding about it. Friends, like they would be happy because people our age always say that these black boys ain't doing nothing in their lives, so they would be like, girl, go ahead, So it's just like, I don't know, I wouldn't experience anything negative from anyone close to me, like really close.
So would you say, or would you think that your friends or even you would actually take the relationship serious? Because I know some people will say that if they're dating outside their race, they don't necessarily take the relationship serious. It's just something like a fling, a little something that they're going through at the time. So maybe if they're out in the streets or out about, how sometimes you may see that person with someone else and you have your friends that run back and tell you, oh, I seen him with this, and that. So if it was something like that, do you feel like it would be serious enough for your friends to take it serious and they actually be there for you and help you through the process? Or would you like brush it off? Or if it came to something like that?
I don't think I would brush it off because honestly, no matter what race, if I'm dating you, like I'm taking it serious. Like we can just be talking or friends if it's gonna be like a fling or something that's not taken serious. But I would definitely let my friends help me get through it because that's what friends are supposed to do. Like I'm glad they would tell me if they saw someone I saw potential in with someone else or someone I thought I was with, So I don't know. I would never just think of it as a fling. At all. I would, if I were to date someone outside my race, I would take it seriously. Like it would be like a real relationship, on my end at least.
So just to pry into your personal life just a tad bit, are you in a relationship with anyone right now?
Oh no, I'm single as a dollar bill.
Single as a dollar bill. So have you been thinking about dating or looking into it, kind of just living life right now?
Kind of. I've been thinking about it, but at the same time, I'm like about to make another transition with my life. I'm about to graduate soon. So I'm kind of like at the same time, I'm thinking with my brain, like I don't really need a relationship. I need to get stable first with my next chapter. But I mean, we're all human. Like I have feelings, I guess, sometimes. So I think about it every now and then. But on the other hand, I'm just like, well, I don't think I need to get serious with anyone right now.
So have you actually dated someone outside of your race?
No, I haven't. I've had opportunities like in high school, but I just never, I was more in my comfort zone back then. I think coming out here has made me be more open since that's all I see. So now I'd be willing to, kind of date someone of another race.
So if or have you dated anyone on campus? Was it anything different than what you were used to? So has it been something that you're just like totally not going to accept and you just don't like or anything? Because sometimes that some guys can be a little judgmental and say or do certain things, feel like they can do certain things and it's okay. So have you ran into anything like that within a relationship?
College-wise, I dated someone for a year, long distance actually. They went here, but then they transferred to another school. So it kind of made it easy and hard at the same time because I still got to, have a life, have my space, but still at the same time it was just hard because, you miss that person. But as far as with that, it was just a lot of lack of respect, a lot of trust issues kind of with the situation because, guys think they can do something, but if a female does it, if they feel like a female does it, it's wrong. So once again, the double standards kind of ruins a lot with any relationship.
So if you had to have a conversation with a guy and he's saying that it's not okay for women to do certain things or make certain actions, but they're doing the same thing, how would you explain that and make your point about that certain topic?
I explain my side of it very boldly. Like, I feel like if you don't want me doing something, then you shouldn't do it too. Or if you feel like if you thought I was doing this and you wouldn't be happy about it, then don't do that to me as well. Like, a lot of people feel like, oh, well, if they don't know about it, it's okay, it's fine, nothing happened. But I mean, a lot of things end up coming out. So how would you really be able to explain it, especially if you're in the relationship saying you don't like this, but turns out you're doing it the whole time?
Right, and which they shouldn't. I completely understand. I know sometimes we get into that situation where it's like they feel like it's acceptable or it's okay for them to do something, but once you do that same exact thing, then it's not. It's the
end of the world.
Right, like that's not cool. It's not going to happen. And I'm still trying to figure that out myself. But I mean, like you said, it's always good to do the right thing and do what you're supposed to, especially if you're in a relationship when you're taking something serious. And at this point of age, or at this point in time, it should always be something that you. I understand we're all in college, we're all in school, and we're trying to live our lives, and we're trying to make it somewhere and become someone. But at the same time, if you feel like you're going to get in a relationship and you feel like that's something that you want to do, you should take it serious, and you should do what you're supposed to do and make that last and make it right. So on that though, do you feel like love is blind, or do you feel like people just take it as a joke and they don't take it serious? It's just whatever.
I don't think anyone really knows what love is. Everyone has their own definition because of their experiences, but it's just like, if you know what love is, why are there so many broken relationships now today? I think people just rush into everything. It's just for the image or, lust. People confuse lust with love, I think. I think love exists. It's just, it takes the right experience and time and person. I don't think you can just find love that easy in college. Like, this saying, oh, you're supposed to find your husband in college. I think that's what makes females our age, like, try to rush into a relationship with someone because they feel like, oh, I'm going to go to college and get married. Like, no, it doesn't work out like that. Right. You live your life, you do what you're supposed to do, and if the right person comes, then great. If it doesn't, then you have years after that to find someone. Right. As far as color-wise, I think love is mine. Like, love has no color. Like, you're attracted to what you're attracted to. If you're only attracted to someone just by looks or the color of their skin, then that's how I know it's not love.
Right.
When you love someone, like, you don't care about their culture, where they're from, who their parents are, what they look like. It is what it is. You can't really deny a natural connection with someone at the end of the day. So if anyone wants someone that's a different race, then I feel like they should go for it.
Right.
If don't
hold back and
don't fight your real feelings at all.
Right. And I know a lot of people now they do that because they're afraid of what people are going to say and how people are going to think of them. And even though the world is so judgmental, we have so many judgmental people among us, I feel like you said, don't let that distract you. Don't let that get in the way with something that you really and truly want to do. Because at the end of the day, it's your life, and you should live it the way you want to live it. Because you have to deal with your decisions, and you have to deal with your feelings. And if you can make the best of it while you can, you should definitely go ahead and do that. So let me say, if you were to date someone outside of the race or whatever, and it became serious, someone that you may have been considering marrying and actually building a life with, and you met their parents and met their family, how do you think that they would, or what do you think they would say about you?
Well, I would hope that they wouldn't be prejudiced because I'd be a different race, but I feel like I would carry myself nicely to where they would see past my skin complexion, see past that I'm a different race. I would hope that they would be understanding. I would hope that they would love their child enough to understand their feelings and respect their feelings, and to realize that, okay, my child loves this female of a different race, so let me respect it, let me respect her, let me give it a chance, let me take this relationship serious, let me not just laugh at it or just turn my head away.
So if they were to say something negative and they just weren't accepting it, what would you do? Would you try to work it out and try to talk to the family, try to talk to their friends, or would you just give up and just leave it alone?
It depends on the amount of disrespect. Like, if I'm not gonna ever disrespect anyone I'm with, parents, just the respect of elders and just the respect for the person I'm with. But if I stick around and I keep trying to show that I'm worthy of their child and if I keep showing them that I'm worthy of respect and just worthy of their son having, then I'll just leave it alone. Like, you can't be happy if someone's family members are just constantly tearing you down or tearing a relationship down. It kind of discourages you. So I think I would only give up if I kept trying to persuade them to like accept me and they didn't want to do it. That's the only way I would give up.
But I know now, even if it is a different race, or you dating someone a different race, or and you're meeting their family, that's not even there. That's sometimes within our own race that we have to deal with the family members or friends not accepting you for who you are and some things that you do. I know now with the world being so, like I said, they was being so judgmental, they'll hold up your background and your past experience on you and hold you to that. So on that, I mean, I feel like you said, we shouldn't be judged by that. We shouldn't be judged by who we are, our color of our skin, who we want to date, and who we want to see, and who we want to be around. So we should always just be open-minded and consider other people's feelings and other people's thoughts. So is there anything else you would like to add to that?
I feel like if you love someone, go for it. Or not even love. If you like someone and they're different, just go for it. If you don't like it, if it turns out bad, then oh well, don't cry over spoiled milk. But at least you can say you had the experience. Like, honestly, I would personally like to have the experience of dating anyone outside of my race, just to say, not to just say I've done it, but basically to say I've done it, just to say that I am willing to try something new. I'm willing to break out of my shell, because before I would never go talk to anybody that wasn't black. I just didn't. I think it was because in high school it was kind of mainly white kids there, so that's all I saw. So of course I wanted to be a nice tall black man. That's what I didn't see that a lot, so I wanted that. But now that I'm here at HBCU, plenty of black males, not discriminating against them, I would really like to have an experience with someone of a different race. So
all right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Imani Williams, and we're talking about interracial dating. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Look Who's Talking in the City. Be sure to tune in next time, as I have some incredible topics lined up for you. You can always contact me at Facebook at Rae'Ven Jones or Instagram at _Rae'Ven Jones. You can even email me at lookwho'stalkingintthecity@gmail.com. If you missed the last episode, you can always catch it on YouTube by typing in my name or Look Who's Talking in the City in the search engine. Thanks again for tuning in, and until next time, remember to keep God first and keep the faith. Thank you.
The preceding program was brought to you by the Southern University Mass Communication Department.